And welcome back to another edition of the John Wayne Surge Protector Podcast, 6040 production. I'm Eric Halsey.
I'm Alex Midway, and we missed everybody. And apologies for not making it on Thursday or any time last week, but one of us wanted to go fishing.
Yep. And then we had planned to pivot this to a Friday pod, and we ended up playing golf and just getting kind of silly after that for a while. So our apologies, but we're back today, so you're welcome.
You're gonna participate in loser sports, and you got to get drunk. And after getting drunk and day drinking, you really can't do this. And I know it sounds like we do zero prep for this whatsoever. We're always drunk as it is, but I assure you, we can get a lot worse.
Yep. So don't think of this as you missed us on Thursday. Think of this as most of my past exes do. This time we're just coming early.
You don't hear his feedback?
I don't hear anything.
All right. It's annoying. I hear it on my end, and hopefully it doesn't show up in the episode. But if it sounds like I'm a little bit schizo during this thing, it's because I hear my own voice twice.
Yeah, our dear friend Alex has decided tinfoil hat is no longer his deal, so he has built a tin can room to record from, evidently. But I haven't heard a difference, so hopefully you don't either.
I also didn't pull any permits and just knocked everything down because if a president can do it, so can I.
Yeah, absolutely. Congressional approve this.
So let's get this thing off. We got a lot of things that happened since we've been gone, and one of the things out there is we're going to go with who said it. They are looking to create a lot of dust and distraction in the market in an attempt to confuse our shareholders. This is not a lie. Who said it, and when was it, and in what reference?
Ooh, that's a toughie. Well, it sounds like an honest opinion, so it's definitely not a billionaire.
Correct.
I honestly, I'm gonna say Jamie Raskin.
Well, no, and what's it called? One sec. Let me just make sure he's not a billionaire. I don't think he is. You'll figure it out in a second. Flags at half mast today at JWSP because Spirit Airlines went off the air. I mean, we don't show up for one episode and they quit. And this was actually the CEO of Spirit, Ted Christie, back in 2020 when they were talking about merging with JetBlue.
Okay, yeah. RIP Spirit Airlines for now.
I mean, honestly, I don't know if they're coming back or not. I never flew them because I'm a big boy and those seats are not made for my feet. But a lot of the talking points I've been hearing out of this administration is screaming that Pocahontas and Joe Biden killed Spirit. No. The JetBlue merger was actually illegal, and I'll post up an actual link to the video on YouTube where you can look at the CEO himself of Spirit back then saying it wasn't going to happen. They had a merger with Frontier Airlines that the administration had no issues with, but things went wrong, and they tried to merge with JetBlue. JetBlue turned it down, yada, yada, yada. And now Spirit Halloween.
Yeah, so unfortunately, we are no longer allowed to fly the Waffle House of the skies. For now, I have seen a lot of chatter over the past couple of days where, did you see the guy went viral for flying on Spirit for 24 straight hours a couple of years back?
No, what did it cost him, $80?
Yeah, it was just, it was really just a video to show how miserable you can be on an airplane. But I saw a video of him pop up where he was like, gauging by what I'm looking at here, if we all throw in $20, we can essentially buy this airline and just socialize it. It was like, just think about what it would force other airlines to do. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm interested.
I would lie. Because people, first of all, tossing in $20 and not doing it unless it's defense some white supremacists at a playground dropping N-bombs to black people out there. But it's also having so many people in charge of an airline. It went bankrupt for a reason. So I don't think it'll work out.
Well, I am all for any new, fun, creative ways to stick it to the powers that be. So we're going to agree to disagree on this one.
Fair enough. If it comes back, it'll be interesting. But let's get into the usuals here. It's the Tesla ticker. Last we left you on Tuesday, it's 376, went up to 392. And actually, some news did come out, so this one actually makes a little bit more sense because the Tesla Semi rolled off a production line. And these are actually kind of neat. The regular version is 325 miles on that and 500 with the long range, and each one of them costs about 260 to 290,000 respectively. The ranges are estimated with them hauling the full 82,000 pounds, which is standard for an 18-wheeler. It doesn't have a sleeper cabin, but it also comes with two screens so you can crank your hog while you're out there navigating the streets. But one thing about Elon is sometimes his map doesn't account for gravity.
Well, if there's one thing I know I want a tractor trailer driver to do is to have as much going on in front of him that's not the road as possible. So kudos, great thinking. What I would like to do is get an actual trucker to chime in on what, real truckers are thinking when they see one of these Teslas.
Well, there was one guy who commented on it. He wasn't a fan of it. And if you take a look at the pictures of the cabin, it's a Spartan cabin. And that makes sense. Elon Musk really doesn't care about the pores. Because he's going to try to pretty much make these things auto driving in the end. You just get rid of the actual workforce. But I don't know, man. It's a good step forward. And it made the stock go up, so that part made sense.
All right. Again, I think we're going to agree to disagree on whether this is a good idea or not. If your little taxi cabs can't stop running over kids, can't imagine what damage a semi will do, but you know what? I've been wrong before.
When a president is out there handing out pardons, you can have that semi run through whatever school zone you wanted to.
Yeah, let's listen to a complaint about guns now as a semi just goes wrecking through a third grade class.
Wait till they put guns on the actual Tesla semis. But there's been more news out of Elon's sphere as SpaceX IPO has a stunning clause in it that even Tesla didn't think of. And this is actually a good thing, but Elon is adapting like the parasite that he is. In the upcoming IPO, when they release all these shares, only Elon Musk can be, the only way Elon Musk can be fired is if he says so. So the article's hailing it as a genius move. Like, I wouldn't call it a genius move. Like, it's a company that's trying to see a $2 trillion IPO valuation. And regardless of what the CEO does, like, they can't fire him. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me from a financial point of view.
Well, we've had such a problem with CEOs recently where they're legally obligated to do the least humane thing possible if it creates more money. So maybe Elon will be the one who finally has the empathy in his heart when he runs this company. So, glass half full.
I mean, Sam Altman developed some empathy after a couple Molotov cocktails and an AR bullet went through his window. So I guess there is hope for him.
Yeah, pin in that. Yeah, absolutely.
So the filing states that Musk can only be removed from our board or these positions by the vote of the Class B holders. So SpaceX is doing kind of a dual class share for the 2026 IPO, and all of Musk's Class B shares have 10 votes compared to all the Class A shares. So anytime you're buying, if you get the chance to buy the IPO shares or you get a way to get the actual Class A's, just know that they have 10x less voting power than all of Elon's.
Yeah, this one doesn't make sense to me. I thought the whole point of a share was it was all the same exact amount. It was just who had the most of them has the control. This makes it sound like, we've got two different types of shares to have here, and I didn't know that was a thing.
Well, some have referred to it as separate but equal.
Oh, okay. So we're Jim Crowing the stock market again.
Yeah, so essentially Elon's are worth 10x to make sure that as long as he holds on to them, no one can ever vote him out, and I think he's gonna hold on to him.
It's almost like this whole like we gotta leave poor Sam alone and start Molotoving over on Elon's side is what it sounds like to me, allegedly.
I mean, I got no problem multitasking, hitting both.
Well, since Everclear is the only thing we can all afford now.
Yeah, for now, before that goes through a price increase.
Maybe that's why gas is so high, because Molotovs, to curb the Molotov appetite we've grown to.
Joe effing Biden.
Why did Biden make this hand bomb so expensive?
They just blame Biden for everything. Now blamed him for what's it called, beef shortages. They blamed him for the merger mess up. Blame him for finance. I'm like, if this guy was sleeping all the time, how did he get all this work done? Like, I want to know how you can get 19 hours of sleep and still like make generational change.
Oh, just watch a Trump press conference. Destroy the voting rights.
Redistrict everything.
Why are all these blacks and browns successful?
God bless Louisiana. Like, I mean, I know you guys wanted to vote, but go F yourselves for changing things.
Even though we've sent out the early mail-ins, we're stopping it now.
We literally took away your right to vote this time around, and y'all still went to work the next day.
That's another state I wouldn't mind selling at some point. But anywho.
So there was last week, I was going to get to this one. There was an interview of Trump in the Oval, and he's like, yeah, I talked to Putin, and I want him to help me with the war in Iran. I'm like, wait a second. I was like, the guy's not helping you for war in Ukraine. Now you want him to help you for war in Iran? Like, that's literally picking the worst friend. But he's out there, he's rambling how everything's knocked out in Iran, like everything's going fine. I mean, even again, this week we know it's not going fine, and even more things are coming out. It's a whole lot worse than we think, but that's for another episode. But he's like, yeah, Putin also suggested a ceasefire. And then he's like, wait, he's like, I think it'll be soon. And he asks, he's like, hey, has he released that there's going to be a ceasefire? And the reporter's like, yeah, no, he's not doing a ceasefire. But, and then Trump cuts off, he's like, well, I think he's going to come out and say it soon, because I'm going to just make him do a ceasefire.
Well, if there's one thing Trump's been good at, it's making Putin do literally anything. Just unbelievable. Just how we let Grandpa still think he's in charge, I'll never understand.
Well, technically, since this was written last week, there's been some updates on this one. So he may have made him do a ceasefire, but the ceasefire that Russia is proposing is from May 8th to May 9th, and the one that Ukraine is saying that they're going to have is May 5th to May 6th. So I'm not a big knower of how ceasefires work, but how's this one supposed to work?
Yeah, I'm not a big calendar guy, but I feel like if both sides are you need two sides to a ceasefire, and if you've got the days wrong, I don't think it's a ceasefire, man.
I mean, you need two sides to agree on the actual days as well. It's like you need more than just the two sides. Like, I want a ceasefire on the 10th. He's like, well, I'm doing mine on the 21st. Be like, that's not going to work for me. Like, you both have to be there on the same thing on the calendar.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe we're wrong. Maybe this is a new way to do ceasefires, and it'll just work itself out.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, it's a proving ground out there in Ukraine right now. But before the ceasefire, Ukraine put out a pair of bangers, and you keep remembering the port of Primorsk we mention all the time.
Yeah, the one that they keep burning down to the ground.
Yeah. They just keep coming back, and you would think that Russia at a certain point would be like, we should probably take a look at what's happening in offensive. No, the port of Primorsk made another submarine as Zelensky went ahead and confirmed that Karakort-class missile ship, a patrol boat, and a tanker from the Shadow Fleet, and hell, just for good measure, the oil refinery there. They hit all of those. And the Karakort could carry up to 8 caliber missiles, and they generally target Ukrainian cities. So have fun transitioning to a submarine class. Good riddance.
Yeah, I love the I love the idea of just explaining it as we're gonna make this a submarine now.
Putin's losing all kinds of ships to a country that doesn't have a navy.
I mean, again, call it Honey Badger stand for a reason, buddy.
Yeah.
Just should have left
and
them alone.
Somebody who wants to, yeah. I mean, F around, find out. Somebody was going to get me on the technicality here. Like, well, it does have a navy. Like, yeah, they have like 3 Coast Guard looking cutters. None of them are destroyers. Like, they have about 7 ships total, but they all suck. They wouldn't be able to last here. So if you're trying to get that gotcha, F you. Listen to the whole episode. I got you.
Like Colin Quinn once said, he was like, yeah, they're talking about the British or the Dutch originally coming to America first and landing in New York and finding an Indian tribe. And they were like, yeah, you can't really fight them. Your biggest navy is a couple of canoes and some strong swimmers. And I feel like that's kind of like where Ukraine's at with their navy. But you don't have to worry about the water with Ukraine. Worry about the air.
Huh? Because I told you there's going to be two bangers, and the second one is the fact that a drone struck a building in Moscow. And let's see if I can get this one. Mosfilmovorskaya Street. And that's about 6 miles away from the Kremlin. And what I ended up finding out was this is actually a 5.1 drone, and those are some big boys. So they can actually carry two other drones in the back, and they made it within 6 miles of a Kremlin. So that's a big change in that giant war.
Yeah, it's you can almost hear Putin's little balloon not tighten up from here. The little engine that could is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was wild seeing that video of like just the wreckage and stuff like that close to the Kremlin. It's good for Ukraine.
Yeah, it's wild. The fact that like Ukrainians hear the sirens every day, and the fact that it's coming to the Kremlin, it makes a huge difference. And the reason why Putin might be pushing for a ceasefire is they are having their May Day anniversary of the Soviet Union winning against the Nazis. And honestly, there's no denying what they did. They definitely helped out on that one. But it's also going to be the first time this parade is going to be without any military equipment, like military hardware. Like all the tanks, the missiles, and everything else, like they're not bringing those out because right now, Zelensky, a couple days before the parade, they ran a drone and they're showing like, yeah, we can do this. So just a heads up, the 3-day special operation is on its 5th year, and there are drones appearing in Moscow.
Yeah, it is kind of nice to know that you can't do your little annual military parade because you need every little bit of it now. Yeah, it's just Ukraine hitting 6 miles from the Kremlin is baffling. What we would have said this 3.5 years ago. You're like, there's not a chance.
Yeah. And they're using like weapons they've actually developed. This isn't like a Tomahawk. This isn't anything else that they got from another country. This is stuff that's been brought up. And actually, the 5.1 costs about 55 grand. Like, there's not a missile in our arsenal that costs 55 grand.
Man, I'm telling you, he's reinventing warfare as we know it, and honestly, he's going to go down as one of the greats. I love it.
Yeah, and if you want another example of a power shift that's happening in Europe, Zelensky has reiterated warnings to Belarus to not get involved in Russia's invasion, as he reported unusual activity near the shared border. So when the whole invasion started in 22, Russia went ahead and invaded Ukraine through the border, and a lot of the people were thinking that, Orban and the Belarusians were going to join and go ahead and carve up Ukraine. The Russian invasion was doing well, but when it actually failed to take Kiev, and they had to turn back around, and again, now we're on year 5, they didn't act back then. And the fact that, like, Zelensky's hitting Russia's capital, telling Belarus that they could get it too. Like, that $90 billion loan that he's getting, like, some of that money is going to go to an industrial-sized wheelbarrow for his testicles.
Now I'm not the world map guy. That's you. Is there a reason has Belarus ever brought anything to the table, like, as far as the world's concerned?
Yes. What Putin wants.
Okay, so nothing like good, right?
No,
okay.
Maybe a long time ago, not currently.
Okay, well, my only tie to Belarus is Andrei Orlovsky losing me money twice by losing to that dope Tim Sylvia. So, yeah, F them too.
Clearly, the Belarusians' worst crime to date.
Yeah, and way to have like the sissiest name for Russian. It's
Yeah.
We're the Belarusians. It sounds like the ballet troupe that Russia sends us every few years.
It might be. I mean, what's it called? Lukashenko is essentially the 1A to Putin's side chicks after Orban, so he was towing the company line pretty close.
Yeah, you know what? I'm sure Ukraine's got enough for you too. So FAFO, pals.
So let's keep it over there in Europe and do a little quick recap. I know a while back we talked about the global Samut flotilla, and again, that means steadfast. And what they were doing is just bringing, I don't know, a bunch of bandages, food, and everything else to Gaza. But a reminder that was back in last October, and they got yoked up. And the people in this flotilla was like Greta Thunberg and a EU Parliament member, Rima Hassan, and like Israel still stopped them. And they stopped them before we got close to Gaza. But this time around, they're getting people off the coast of Crete, which is 6 miles away, and they're yoking them up in international waters.
Well, as we've recently learned over the past year, international water is just a nice way of saying property of America and Israel. And those rules don't really apply anymore. And honestly, until a country comes out and really gives us the smack on the pee-pee, I don't see this changing for a while. You know what it's going to take? It's going to take us yoking up a Chinese tanker, and then I'm guessing we're going to have some new guidelines on how international waters work.
I mean, we're getting our little pee-pee smacked around over there with Iran, and it's not even the biggest one out there, but I don't know what's going on with this country.
All that's done is mess with our gas prices so far. Nobody's honestly concerned, despite what every Republican will tell you. Nobody's honestly concerned about any attacks here in America, not with guys like Kash Patel at the helm.
I mean,
all we're doing is complaining about pricing of things. When it comes to a bigger stick, we might have a bit of a problem.
I mean, what we should be actually expecting is going to get a lot worse, because right now, with that fertilizer not coming out, like now it's planting season, and a lot of that fertilizer comes out of the strait, and the fact that it's not coming down to the farmers, which are going bankrupt at record rates, but hey, more on that some other time. So
yeah. We don't need fertilizer if we don't have farms, buddy. That's called synergy. Create our own problem, then our solution.
If you can't drive to the store because gas is too much, you won't see that the shelves are empty anyway. Boom, problem solved.
Yeah, we're streamlining now. Part of the deal, baby.
So I went ahead and wandered over to Jerusalem Post website, and honestly, I thought Fox was biased, but these guys are getting pretty close. And their headline was, "Sinking the Condom Flotilla. Israel took control of a global smooth flotilla narrative." And I'm guessing you haven't seen this one?
I did not.
Let me summarize it for you. They go ahead, start naming everybody in the flotilla as just essentially a paid Hamas actor. Again, a lot of stuff that we're doing over here. Anyone who protests the president is a paid actor. And they're saying that they're just trying to draw the attention away from all the great work that Israel is doing. We won't even get into that one. You've seen the headlines. But, like, one of the things they put on there is, like, this video, and they're like, oh, look at what they're bringing in. And it's, like, 6 condoms that aren't opened and a bag of white stuff. Like, if I'm transporting things to Israel, like, I might want to have one big hoorah before I'm waterboarded. So I don't hold it against them.
Just wanted to slightly off topic, but there for the paid actor thing, I've never actually done this. George Soros, do you know what his net worth is?
Quite a few million. Oh, billions.
How many billions are you thinking?
Many.
And remember, he's paying all these bad actors for like 6 years now.
He's probably get him child health care because he's a communist. I don't know. Never looked at it.
According to Forbes, $7.5 billion for the face for paying all these protesters. I don't know where the money's coming from.
Why is it? I can't wait till Elon starts paying us.
You know what? Open invitation to APAC too. I have no problem shilling.
We will go hard right in a heartbeat. That's our slogan. Hard right in a heartbeat. Oh, coin it.
Hard right in a heartbeat.
So
yeah, he's spending
else?
$1.25 billion a year for the past 6 years. And that would leave him with $0. I don't know how he's paying all these protesters.
Well, by selling children.
Oh, that's right. Forbes doesn't count the Epstein class. My mistake. Never mind. Trump was right.
So what else is happening out there in the world?
All right, little space news for you. Can't wait to start arguing. NASA Chief Jared Isaacman has called for Pluto to be reclassified as a planet again. So congrats to those who celebrate. As you may remember, way back in the good old days of '06, the International Astronomical Union changed the definition of a planet to include new criteria, which then reclassified our favorite little ice marble to a barely noteworthy dwarf planet. But now Isaacman, Trump nominee, is hell-bent on restoring Pluto to its past glory, making Pluto great again. He stated they're already writing papers on how we're going to reopen the planet discussion, and the rest of silence will follow through shortly. Now, buddy, I know we're going to disagree on this. Why should I give a flying F about Pluto?
We're going to fully agree on this one. You shouldn't. I mean, it's like, it's the same thing with the actual, the reason we started a war in Iran. It's the Epstein file distraction. And in case you didn't hear lately, I think, how much, get back to me on this one. I got to look it up real quick before I talk out of my rear end.
All right, fair enough. Space is stupid. We have plenty of stuff to spend money on here on Earth, and I suggest we start doing that. And you heard it. Alex agrees with me full force. Oh, hold on. You have something?
Yeah, it's a follow-through headline I saw a while back. It was on Tuesday of last week. The Trump administration fires the entire National Science Board. Now we're going to talk about Pluto as a planet after we literally fired all the scientists.
Well, you don't need scientists to tell you Jesus made it, I guess. So.
Also, this one, I mean, there was this article here. It's now stuck behind a paywall, but apparently a lot of people are actually angry with him because he was doing that whole thing, but what's it called? I mean, it's counterproductive, the fact that NASA's talking about it, because NASA doesn't label all the planet. That's a whole, we as a planet, there's an entire body that does it, but whatever.
The Astronomical Union.
Pluto.
Yeah, so Pluto sucks. Stay gone. Don't care. And I guess, we'll just chalk this one up to Jesus said so.
Yeah. I don't know, make beef affordable before we talk about Pluto. Make my gas prices doable. Why don't we prosecute some of the people in the Epstein files? There are a million things we can do here.
You got Soros money, huh? Not sharing anymore.
Yeah, waiting for that check to clear.
All right, so this was supposed to be Thursday, remember? So this was last week's Feel Bad Moment of the Week. Donald Trump has given Zambia until last Thursday to agree on preferential mineral rights agreements, or he will cut off all health funding to stop AIDS in that country. The guy starts Trump RX a couple months ago, and all of a sudden he's got your life or your money type of mindset. Or I guess more accurately in this case, let's not turn this rape into a murder kind of mindset. So just in case you're wondering if we're still the bad guys, the answer is yes.
I mean, are we still helping other people? I thought we cut off U.S. aid and all the other stuff.
Doge did that, and that's what saved all of our $2 trillion, which is why our deficit's gone down, right?
How did these dirty Zambians keep getting AIDS help?
Well, they obviously didn't help supply children to the Epstein class, so now they don't get any. they didn't have any skin in the game, so now they're just getting smacked.
Did we elect Gollum to be president? This guy just keeps looking for shiny things everywhere.
You know what? Part of the deal. And this country is going to make a bunch of money, supposedly, before we rip it all apart in our new civil war. So who knows? It'll be great.
Can't happen fast enough.
No.
Sweet release of death.
Yeah, it's gotta come, man. And Friday was May Day, a day of rallies, protests, and an economic blackout, with this year's theme being workers over billionaires. There's 750 May Day events planned across the country, with even some businesses and schools closing down early for the festivities. You may remember Minnesota earlier this year did an economic blackout for about a weekend, and that actually turned into getting Bovino fired and ICE out of Minnesota. So Haven't seen the numbers come in yet, but I'm hoping it was a great success, because otherwise we're just going to bomb a different country that did nothing to us.
I mean, I kind of feel like Colin Kaepernick right now when he was asked about if he votes, and he's like, "No, man, I don't vote." Like, what the hell? Like, you're preaching all these things and like revolution, yada yada. Like, you don't even vote. It's like we had our own economic blackout on a golf course on Friday, but it's more of a liver blackout. So like, there's all these marches going on, and we're just contributing to be consumers, just buying golf balls. Well, we did bring your own beer, so we kind of put a wrench in the machine there.
And some dum-dum who owed us already had paid for it well before that blackout day, so technically I know I didn't spend any money.
Plus, he works for the state, so communism.
Yeah, so we supported it, and we hope you did too. F these billionaires. I like the idea of economic blackout. It definitely does help. It's not as cool as lighting up one of these billionaires' homes and having them immediately change their whole mindset on how we treat other people. But, but both could work, I guess.
I mean, why not try both angles? I mean, again, we can multitask.
Well, yeah, and if that doesn't work, just remember, all those data centers they love so much have minimal employees, and they are chock full of gold and palladium and all sorts of precious metals. So make sure you tell somebody who went to that Kid Rock concert.
Just found out that catalytic converters, if they're not OEM, are about $15, whereas the other ones can be up to $1,000. So data centers have a lot of rare minerals in them.
Yes, so please leave our catalytic converters alone and go steal from the people who can afford to replace them.
Go. Till next time. Hopefully it's sometime this week, but who knows? And also, if you heard a background voice of me twice, I twice apologize. I'm Alex Bidway.
Daddy, chill.
And I'm Eric Halsey. Later, Gators.